come in the building. Let me straighten this up. I'm not on StreamYards. I'm just on YouTube by itself. So I'm not on StreamYards. So I'm gonna give y'all some time to come in the building. Hit that like button. We got too much to talk about. I don't even know if I'll be able to get to it all. Well, punch that like button on your way in the building, y'all. How's everybody doing today? Camp was amazing. Camp was amazing today. Trying to preserve my energy after all this frustration from today with the Stephen Ross situation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Preston Williams' situation. We're going to talk about Adam Butler just getting released by the Dolphins. Just everything, man. These Stephen Ross, Tua. And I'm mad because Tua, he's the highlight of today. Tua is the highlight of today, y'all. And it's being overshadowed. It's being overshadowed. So like I said, I got a lot to get to. I'm just letting people come in the building because I'm not on StreamYards. So usually I let the stream go for like 2 minutes before I hop in with the music. So I'm just giving it 2 minutes to let people come in the building, man. Y'all hit the like button on the way in. What's up, everybody? Oh, man, I ain't gonna lie. Camp drained me today. I am drained. I am drained. I am worn out. Man, y'all hit the like button. We got another minute and we're going to get started. Don't be mad about Tua. Good to let fans and be happy. I'm not mad about Tua. I'm excited about Tua. This is a rare situation, man. Y'all know I call it how it is. I'm going to tell you what I'm excited about with Tua. I'm going to tell you what are still concerns. But what I will tell you early on before I go into detail, he's definitely headed in the right direction. He's definitely headed in the right direction. So we'll see if this maintains and keeps up. The real test is versus the Bucks. And then the ultimate test is regular season. So to me, I'm going to keep on watching them in practice. But a good gauge. Today was a good gauge, by the way. We're going to get into it in just a second. About 30 more seconds. Let some people come in the building. About 30 more seconds, and then we'll get started. Y'all bear with me. I'm not animated, all excited. I'm excited about Tua, but I'm not all excited right now because I am worn out from camp today. That sun does something to you, man. I got this AC in my mom's house pumping right now, and it's like a tired itis. What does a suspension look like for an owner? Like a bunch of crap. Basically, he can't come to games. I'm gonna get started in 20 seconds, man. Don't get me. Whoo, man. I ain't trying to talk about that yet, but since you donated, I'm gonna answer your question first. Since I like to handle donations first so I don't forget. Especially when people take their hard-earned money and show love to the channel. So you're going to get the first answer when I go in. I ain't even going in. I'm not even finna be mad, all that crap. I'm just going to talk to y'all because I'm worn, man. I am worn out. Anyway, I think we've waited long enough. So let's get started. Hit the like button. We got 260 people watching and only 69 likes. Punch that like button, y'all. At least help me out. At least help me out. Hit the like button, guys. And we hit 20,500. So just this week alone, we added about 200 new members to the family, subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to TDPHINSTALK right now. All right? All right, let's get started. So to answer the super chat donation, what a suspension like looks for an owner. When you asked that, it triggered me. I'm just going to keep it 1,000. That triggered me. Why did it trigger me? Because it looks like nothing. We already had an absent owner. Our owner always up in New York. The only time he leaves New York, wherever he is when he want to fly down to a game just to be the owner and watch the game. Basically, they just telling him September, and he's suspended to October. I don't even know. Is it a definitive day? It's like what? I don't even know how many weeks that is. But either way, he just can't come to a few games. He ain't never in the building anyway. So he just can't come to a few games. The $1.5 million fine he don't even care about, because when he died, he say he giving away half his money to charities anyway. So that's nothing. Basically, when the season started, he suspended 5 weeks. So come on, it's nothing. It's a slap on the wrist. But guess who really getting punished for this crap? You and me. Dolphin fans are being put. See, I said I'm not gonna get animated. Let me just calm my voice down, because boy, y'all, oh, I'm mad. Dolphin fans are the ones being punished for this crap. We got to deal with the loss of a first-round pick and a third-round talent. The fans are suffering, not this owner. This ain't no punishment. This ain't no punishment at all. So I ain't, man. And I'm going to get back on this subject later, but I want to stick to the script. I want to start out, man. So I'm going to switch gears real quick, and we're going to get back to that later, because I want to stay on agenda. I think I got a good solid 50 minutes. I'm going to try, because we all going to go to dinner as a family. So it is what it is. Did somebody else leave a donation? Let me make sure I hit it already. Now we need Tua to pan out with the loss of picks. We going to get to that, because you're right. We do need him to pan out now, but we're going to get to that. But the first thing first, I feel it's disrespectful if I don't tell y'all what I saw from Tua today. Y'all give me one moment. Let me go grab my other phone. Other line, because he going to keep interrupting the stream. So I got to let him know I'm live right now and stop calling. Matter of fact, I need to probably put on airplane mode. But y'all hit that like button. 2 phones. This is my business phone. Hey, I'm live right now, bro. Yeah, I text you back. I said I'm going live. Yeah. No, you good. You good. All right. All right, man. Let's talk about what I saw today from Tua. So, by the way, if you didn't catch that stream earlier today, I did a live play-by-play of camp today. I was at camp, but they blocked the video when it was over because the music in the background. So I got a copyright and a block from the music in the background. So that's why you don't see it on my channel if you've been looking for it. But I was live for 2 hours a day giving you a play-by-play of practice. But I went in and I edited out the music, so they're going to review it and see if they can put it back up. I don't care. It is what it is. It's about what I'm finna talk about anyway. So first and foremost, I wanted to tell y'all ahead of time, I like some of the improvements that I see in Tua. I don't like talking about the things he's already good at. I don't talk about the things he's already sharp at. I leave that for the droolers. I only talk about the things he struggles with. And I saw some improvement in certain areas that he definitely struggles with, okay? I left practice today feeling encouraged, because that's 3 days in a row and with the pads on. The first 2 days I wasn't there, but the reports were very positive. But today, with the pads on, they didn't do no red zone. They didn't do all the one-on-one stuff. They did full field. It was almost like a scrimmage. It was almost like a scrimmage. And they were starting at the 30-yard line. And let me break down what happened, okay? So first and foremost, it was really hard to evaluate Tua today, because it reminded me of last year, but worse. Not Tua, but the situation he was in. If I was to guess off the top of my head, out of 40 dropbacks in the open field today, Tua might have got sacked 10 times. And it ain't just a Tua getting sacked, he holding on to the ball. Maybe one or two holding on, but the O-line just got obliterated. There were some plays they held up, and there were some nice plays made out of it. But the O-line just got obliterated. And so the reason why I'm saying that, it was like Tua's back to pass. The defender sacks him, put his hands up for the sack, but then Tua makes a nice throw, but you can't count that in a real game. So I try to wipe those out. And at the end of the day, when I wipe all of those out, it's like, it was such a fair, boring day almost, with maybe 2 to 3 really good plays. But it's not a knock on him. So it left me with a very small sample size to actually evaluate him on. But in that small sample size, I'm going to give you a rundown of what I saw. And this is off the top of the head. And there was some good, some bad, some indifferent. So here we go. I can remember the first play of the 11 on 11s. Xavier Howard gets beat on like a 10 to 15 yard crosser. And he got Xavier Howard, and this is Tyreek beating X on a cross field route, coming from one side to the other, about 10 to 15 yards deep, coming across. And Tyreek got X by like 3 solid NFL yards. That's like the size of a dining room table, okay? 3 solid NFL yards, and they're both running full speed. X trying to catch up, Tyreek trying to keep the separation. And it's just one of them plays where if Tua throws the ball behind, Tyreek can still catch, but X can make a play. If he puts it right on him, he catches it and gets tackled right away. But if he leads it out in front, he could rip up the field for another 10 to 15 yards. And long story short, Tyreek ripped up the field for another 10 to 15 yards. The placement of the ball was just so perfect. And, you know, I had to just look at it and say, that all year, and nobody can stop this team. Now, barring the O-line. It was impressive. I just loved it. You know, you got a top receiver beating a top corner, and Tua doesn't blow it. He delivers on the play. And with him delivering on it, it was refreshing to see that, you know? And then after that, I gave him some of the pineapple. And then after that, then all the bad old line plays started to take place. And it was hit and miss. Tua would make a play, a lot of underneath stuff. Another play where Eric Ezukama, he hit him on a deep route, like 50 yards on the right side of the field. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it was a precision throw. I feel like Tua put it up where Ezukama could locate it and go get it, because everything ain't going to be perfect, but it ended up being a perfect connection because Ezukama routed himself to go get it in great coverage, and Ezukama gets the separation at the end of the play. That was another highlight. There was some in, like, you know how teams will run zone and everybody will back up 10 yards down the field? He hit a lot of guys for like 7 yards under the zone coverage, wide open. As far as difficult throws, there weren't that many. But in that part of it, you know, he was sharp. I like what I saw. Now, some of the blunders by Tua during the day, the defense gave a 0 look. They were sending the house. Tua lets his receivers know what he wanted. Hiked the ball. One-on-one on the outside. He dropped back 3 steps and let it fly deep to the right side. And the whole crowd stood up on their feet because the receiver had the separation, but it was just overthrown by like 2 yards. And it was like, man, I like the decision but it didn't convert. So that was a tough one. Another tough one today. Through a lot of traffic, defense playing a lot of zone, receivers running through it. Tua fires one, and it was this was the misfire of the day. Other misfires were, okay, a deep ball you overthrew by 2 yards. It happens, right? And some other ones, bad placement, but it was still caught. So it happens. But the true misfire of the day was Brandon Jones just dropped a pick, gifted to him. The receiver already cleared. It was just a bad throw. Like I say, everybody has them. But overall, I like what I saw with Tua today because it was zip on the ball and the placement was better more often than it wasn't. I'm a stickler about ball placement. Last year and the year before, I don't care what anybody says about accuracy, Tua had pretty bad ball placement. We got completions, but the ball placement was pretty bad in my opinion. What I saw today, like in the past, I feel like 40% great ball placement from Tua. He may have had 80% completion, but 40% ball placement to where guys could have got more yards. Today, it's like he's operating at a 70% of great ball placement. And that's huge improvement because that's 4 more plays out of 10 where we might get that extra yardage for the first and move the chains. Now, one of the most impressive things that I saw from Tua today was his pre-snap identifications. Y'all hear me on this. Tapping that helmet, coming up to the center, talking to him, checking with the wide receiver because he sees certain looks, audibling, checking into run, like for real. Like for real. Y'all know all last year, this man don't audible to save his life. And I ain't talking about a simple, no, I'm talking about going up to the center, talking down the line. Oh my God, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited because of it. I like that stuff. I like that kind of stuff. That's. Oh. Y'all give me a second. Calm down. You geek it out. I like that type of stuff, and because it tells you something that he's picking up. He's picking up more. He's understanding what he's seeing. That's more huge than y'all understand. For me, that's more huge than y'all understand, man. He still got to execute, but that's more huge because remember, he said it himself. Sometimes I would run plays I knew wouldn't work, but I didn't know the playbook well enough to put us in a better position, so I just ran the play. That might have changed. Because what y'all didn't understand when he said that was an omission that we were just giving up plays. Running plays that you know not going to work. So, listen, I'm just dropping y'all the facts, the nuggets behind that. It is what it is. Take it. I know it's practice. Some of y'all, it's just practice, TD. Yeah, it's just practice when we criticize too. So it's going to be just practice when I show some realistic love for what I'm seeing. But he commanded it, man. One play, it was another play though. I think it was just like a whatever for him, but he got to be careful with it. What happened was he was going to get sacked and he just threw the ball down to the dirt, but it was behind him. He got to realize that would be a fumble in real life. That's a fumble. But that's just, little nitpick stuff. I think he just didn't care at the moment. And, but hopefully he didn't care. Hopefully that ain't something real. But I'm going to stop right there. I mean, you're going to hear more about Tua as I go, but I'm going to stop right there. That's the kind of general gist of today with him directly. So I'm seeing improvement. I'm seeing things we didn't see before. And it means it matters, y'all, because let me tell you something. Y'all know I ain't trying to give him credit for nothing if he ain't earning it. If anybody in this community gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all, I ain't blowing smoke. Cause if I was blowing smoke, I'd be like, man, he was flawless. Nah, I ain't blowing smoke. I ain't trying to give him credit for nothing he don't earn. And I'm telling y'all, I could actually see now. Now, am I seeing a sizable difference, like going from a 2 to a 10? No. But if it was a 2 and it wasn't, but just says comparison, if it was a 2, I'm seeing some nice 7s. Y'all got to understand that growth alone, and this is early in camp. He can still grow from this. Somebody said, TD, you did say that last year, just saying. No. I know what I said last year. I said that he was ripping people apart in zone, and if they play zone against us, we're going to eat them up. That ain't changed. What did you see him do last year? 80% completion most games because of zone. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about him pre-snap read. I ain't say that last year. We're getting a lot of man coverage, by the way, in this camp, and he's finding the open guy, putting the ball in placement with the crosser with X versus Tyree. So I know I said a lot last year, but I'm sorry. I'm seeing improvement. I ain't talking about just your day-to-day, hey, you making some completions. I'm talking about the things he actually struggles with. Marino's Ghost said the second things start to look good. Ross has to go act a fool. Nah, he act like that before things look good. This happened way in 2019, which is more proof. Since y'all wanted to hate on TD on this channel, I told y'all, and EM in here, Tua was never the pick. Brady was. They were floating out Brady, even as early, Watson, even that early. They were floating Brady. I told y'all this from day one. Y'all got mad at me. He was never the pick. He was never the plan. And now it's officially released today that it goes back from the 2019. As far back as 2019, y'all. When he was still on the Patriots. Before we even drafted Tua, where they were trying to get Brady. When Ross went on camera and lied to our face and basically said, we're not trying to get Brady. Why would he want to come to a rebuild? No, Brady told you he wouldn't want to come to a rebuild. How did he tell you? Because you were trying to go get him. And now I'm starting to think his interview with LeBron James in the shop was about Miami. When he basically said, when they abandoned it and they said, you're going to stick with this guy? And he said, I probably wasn't going to go there anyway at the time because it was a rebuild. But they didn't have intentions on drafting any quarterback. They were trying to go get Brady. And if they drafted a quarterback, that quarterback was going to sit behind Brady. But I got to admit, that would have been sweet for Tua to sit behind Brady so he could get healthy, polish his game and all of that. But they did it illegally. They did it illegally, man. What else? Because I'm trying to stick to camp before I get into all of that crap. So that was Tua in camp today, man. Look, pick your head up, Dolphin fans. It was a promising day. QB1. And you know what? Another thing, somebody posed, I think Ian posed this question to me earlier, and it hit home for me where I felt good about Tua because he's easily the best quarterback in camp this year. Teddy Bridgewater didn't look good. He looked frazzled. Now, mind you, the O-line didn't help him at all, but regardless, he looked shook. He looked shook today. Skyler looked real good. I mean, when I say real good, he still had his flaws here and there, but he also made some. Listen, okay, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Skyler made some of the best throws today of any quarterback. But the overall play of the quarterback, Tua was just on money more than both of them. But some of the throws Skyler made, I'm telling y'all, that kid there, he got an arm. He's talented. But he also misfires sometimes. He also has his fair share of misfires. But when he does fire, I got to tell you, it's beautiful. And when he's on, he's on. When he's off, it's like way off, almost like intentional. So you wonder if, but Tua is obviously the best quarterback in camp. We haven't been able to say that in 2 years. Hands down, the best quarterback in camp. So I'm going to be honest with you. If this type of play continues, I'd be good with the Dolphins letting Skyler be QB2 and trying to trade Teddy. Trying to recoup something. If you can. Why not? Let him go to a team he might can earn those incentives. I'll be on the phone with Cleveland. Like, hey, this might be a better option than Brissett, if you believe so, you know. Just my thought, because Tua looks like, you know, it ain't a case where I think Tua may have some rough games regardless because of the level of competition. I mean, what quarterbacks don't have a few rough games? But it's hard for me to feel like he'll get pulled this year based off of what I've seen so far. So that's just my take on that. So that's the QB room. But Skyler, man, we got a project for the future, y'all. And I ain't gonna lie. Skyler could be a low-end. Like, if he keeps developing, he could be a low-end, you know, 32nd team starting quarterback in the NFL, as far as I care. Like one of them guys who come in to replace, but actually win the games he replaced. Your starter for, you know? I'm just saying. But he still makes some rookie mistakes. You can see some things where it's just like, no. But he also athletic. He escaped the pocket on a weak side blitz today. Fooled the whole defense, got around. Instead of a 10-yard loss, turning into a +5 run. And use a little speed to get to the outside, too. Just my take. But yeah, let me, okay, let's keep going. So that's the quarterback room. Let's start with the O-line. I'm sorry, y'all. O-line was horrific. There's some plays sprinkled in there, here and there, where they gave the play some time to develop. But they got abused. They operated at, in my opinion, about 40% today. 4 out of 10 is what I would have ranked them. Like I said, if Tua dropped back 40 times, he got sacked 10 times today. And I peeked at Twitter at one point. Some of them obvious sacks, they counted the little 20 or 30-yard pass. A defender run past the quarterback, put his hand up, and quarterback still scrambling. I'm like, the play been over, but then they connect. It didn't look good. The center literally had like 100 high snaps today, and that's exaggerating, but I saw at least 8 to 12 high snaps, like literally Tua having to go up to get it. They also had a center quarterback fumble exchange. So it frustrates me because you see Tua, you could see tangible differences, but then what good is it going to be? That's why I told y'all it was hard to evaluate Tua today because the O-line limited how you can really evaluate him. Like, give him time and let's see if he'll process to a second and third read. Versus he keep hitting his first read and then when he got to go to second or third, you didn't give him time. So that's what I meant by it was also hard to evaluate him on some of the other things that he usually struggles with. I don't care what nobody tell y'all. The O-line was not impressive today. And unfortunately, y'all, because I was so focused on evaluating Tua today, and I'll try to do a better job starting tomorrow, I couldn't hone in on individuals. But to me, it doesn't matter because there was always 1 to 3 people at the same time in the backfield. 1 to 3. Zachary with the donation said, with Butler being released, do you think we are going after Treader? Feel like that would, give me a second, that would be a smart move, being we only have 1 first now. Win now. I don't know, because what kind of moves you can make without Ross's approval? who got to sign off on the guaranteed money. I mean, you really, and don't get me wrong, ain't nobody stupid. They gonna call this man, and this man ain't suspended. He can't come to games, ladies and gentlemen. He's still gonna be running his team, and you think otherwise than the NFL, then gullible as can be. Anyway, let me back to it. Butler, you're asking about J.C. Treader. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, y'all. I need to pull something up for y'all if I can. They ain't gonna show me. I wanted to show y'all, but I'll just have to load it later. So sorry, y'all. If it let me, y'all, it'll tell me now. Oh, that's weird. Anyway, no, but Adam Butler, I mean, you talk about he failed the physical. I don't think that's in relation to J.C. Treader, though, who plays center, because he wasn't playing center, from what I understand. But they should go get JC, but I don't know what they're going to do. We just got to keep our eye on that situation. Jose said, did Tua's arm look weak, or did you see some improvement? So let's talk about that, okay? It's hard to tell because some throws seem intentional and some throws seem relaxed by Tua. And this is what's interesting about him. I still don't understand it. Some throws, he trying to rock it. And you can see he got a better zip than the other two. Except, well, he got a better zip than Teddy because Skyler got an arm. He threw some, man, Skyler threw one that looked like it was going to get picked. That ball was so fast and hard and straight down the lane that, man, right outside the defender hand for a nice gain. And the guy was able to turn up and go up the field. But Tua's arm, man, sometimes you see it get there with intention, and other times it's just a routine pass. Like, let me give you everything on the outside, he putting money on it. And you can see some strength in it. But it's also short. Everything on the inside going across, he just, throwing it to him. And he ain't trying to be intentional, but I like that because I think, remember, across the middle is where he's most inaccurate. So he don't want to try to be so intentional because he could just be dead wrong. Instead, he just letting it go. So just in case it is off a little, his guy can make a play on it. So that's all that matters. And I like that anyway. But you can't tell as far as the arm strength because, I want y'all to think about it. Even that deep ball that everybody went crazy about, right? People say that's arm strength. That's putting the ball up in the air as hard as you can, as high as you can, so it can get as far as it can. That's not a true gauge of arm strength. Arm strength deals with the velocity, like literally. You know how the ball went up in the air by 30 plus feet and came down? Can you make a throw like that with the ball only going in the air 20 feet? Which means it's going to get there a second sooner? That's how you gauge arm strength. It's not how far the ball goes. It's about how quick it gets there. That's the misconception. People questioning arm strength. Look, he threw it 60. It's not about throwing 60. Did you throw it 60 in 6 seconds or 60 in 4 seconds? That's what arm strength is about. And a lot of his throws past 30 yards, they all still float a little. But it's not an issue. As long as they're on the money, it doesn't matter. The only time it's going to come into an issue is when the coverage is good and you have to throw it now, but it's like this. Let me walk y'all through it mentally. You hike the ball. You look at the coverage. It's good coverage, but there is a play to be made. Just the thought to yourself, it's good coverage, because if it was bad coverage, you wouldn't be saying it's good coverage. You would just see it and fire it. But when you see, like if a guy is wide open, you don't think he's wide open, throw. When a guy is wide open, when you see him, you throw. But when a guy is covered well, you tell yourself, that's tight. But there is a play to be made there. That hesitation of identifying, but I still can do it. Now you can't anymore. Because you know your arm strength. If you have the best arm strength, you can afford to say, but there's still a play to be made. Ugh. But if you ain't got good arm strength, you identify there's still a play to be made. I passed that window. It's too late. So I'm not going to judge his arm strength yet. I'm going to look a few more days. But what I will tell you, and this is a little bit of a knock on his arm strength, there were many times on deep opportunities, just like that Tyreek one, they did it like 4 to 5 times today, where you could see somebody coming open in the seam and he sees it, but then the safety's there. So by the time the ball gets there, it ain't going to happen. So I'm not going to throw the ball. Sack or check down. So there were some opportunities deep that ended up getting checked down. It's just like that deep throw. If Holland would have bailed, would Tua have thrown the ball? If Holland was in great coverage, you see what I'm saying? So even if there was a window to still throw it. So I just got to see it more to make any type of final thoughts on arm strength. But what I will tell you, there are throws on the outside, the 5-yard outs, even some of the 15-yard outs. I see the intention, and I can see improved arm strength. But as far as those 40-yard chunks and 50-yarders, that ball still hang high. I mean, look at the Tyreek play that we all rave about. The ball was hanging as high as it could. Some guys can make that throw without the ball leaving 20 yards in the air, 20 yards high. That ball is at least 30 to 40 yards in the air. So that's the difference, okay? Ball game said, if it's covered, the check down is always the better option. LOL, you always live to fight for the next day. Well, yeah, that's not what we talk about, ball game. What I'm saying is a guy's open, and if you hit him with your arm strength right now, that's 40-yard gain. But while you are identifying that, the safety had enough time to close where you should have already thrown it and you would have been good, but now the hesitation. But he is at least making the right decision that, hey, I missed the window, now let me check down. So he's making the right decision, but that is a sense of a limitation where you got to be better anticipating. And I would say that today, there was no anticipatory Tua today. There was great execution Tua, but not anticipatory Tua, if that makes sense. Because that Tyreek play was anticipated. I mean, Noah was stride for stride, and he still threw the ball. He knew that his guy would break out on that. Let's see, what else? Doug in here, man. What he said. Hey, brother, just want to stop by and say I love your coverage of camp, and now know I appreciate you for always having my back. Love you, brother. Man, Doug, it goes without saying, bro. That'll never change. It's one thing about me and you. We always been 100 with each other, and it's always going to be that case. Haters try to put us against each other, but at the end of the day, man, we salute each other every chance we get. And live right here on the stream, man, I always say, man, you the GOAT. And you know why? Because you're consistent, you do your job well, and you provide the best content for this community, bro. So please keep doing it and don't stop. Keep doing it with the same intensity and don't stop, bro. They shut my video down the other day, Doug. They blocked it because for one song, they blocked my video. You know how usually they just give you a little strike or whatever? They ain't do that this time. Epic Records copyright for one song, a 2-minute segment, and they just blocked the whole video. Not just move monetization, they just blocked the whole video. So, but I told them, hey, we'll crop that part out, and you know they're gonna review it, so it ain't gonna be here until 50 years from now. But it is what it is, man. So I might get hit with that every day, but it ain't gonna stop me from still doing me. I'ma still get the people what they need, that content, man. So regardless of them blocking it, they don't block it real time. They block it when the stream is over. So with that being said, I'm gonna still give y'all the live play-by-play each day, and the Tampa practices. I'm gonna try to give y'all play-by-play as long as the reception is just fine. Fins Fan 23 said Tua doesn't have the arm to be late on anything. Maybe, but let me tell y'all something. This whole arm strength narrative, I done told y'all a million times. It's going to limit him, but at the same token, there's too many other things that if he improves, he's just fine. And I'm seeing some of the improvement in some of those areas. Everything, no, but listen, man, especially with the news handed down today, he gotta be the guy. The contingency window just cracked the door. It didn't shut it, but it cracked it. The contingency plans, just in case he didn't work out. Because we needed every bit of them first rounders, just in case. So we need this man to be the guy hands down. And but the good thing is, at least he's headed in the right direction. So hopefully that continues. So TD, stop speaking the truth. You're going to lose haters from your channel. Bro, haters will always be present, man. But you know, it is what it is, man. It's hard to lose haters, man. Them the people that's the most loyal. Because they will always be present to try to down you. So it's I don't think I'll lose any haters. But again, I don't care, man. Listen, it's just my job to tell the truth. Whether we want to hear it or we don't. Whether it's good or bad. I'm just going to always tell the truth. If Tua start coming out the next 6 days and sticking up the joint, man, this man out here looking like trash. It's that simple. Like, people get, we ain't got to go back and forth about that, but ignore these people. They don't like honesty. They want the fanboys. They want the people that drool over to make every excuse. That ain't me. Ain't never been and never will be. It never will be, man. I'm going to tell y'all exactly what's going on with this team. In my opinion, don't make it right. It's just my thoughts, and time tells. And when we get new information, if it changed, then I change. If it change again, then I change again. That's what real news is. That's what real reporting is. It ain't supposed to be to tell you what you want to hear just for clicks and money. It's supposed to be real objective and giving you straight up and honest opinion, commentary. So that's what I try to provide, and at the end of the day, who like it, who don't. But it'll always be the truth. But that's why I try to tell y'all, don't worry about those people. You know why? Because you should see my Twitter message inbox today. You should see the inbox. Bro, your take on Tua today is very refreshing. I don't like none of the things you say about Tua, but to hear this from you is very refreshing. I told y'all already. All the Tuaneers, they know deep down inside, I am their real validation. If Tua look good to me, they know they can legitimately cheer. They know that they can believe it. Because I ain't giving him nothing just to give it to him. I ain't raving about him about nothing unless he earned it. I told y'all I learned from Tannehill. I ain't trusting no quarterback until they become what we need them to become. I will break down the minuscule things of their game until they become that dude. So trust me when I tell y'all, even my haters, they come to me and listen to what I gotta say And trust me, if Tua look, trust me, after the Patriots game, if Tua throw for 405 touchdowns, my haters don't stay away. Let me see what TD had to say. And I'm going to give him his props. And they going to feel validated. All last year, when they were making them excuses, they stayed away because they didn't want to hear the truth. They know. So at the end of the day, man, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't realized this until recently. But it's a win-win. You tell the truth, it's a win-win. The people that know you're honest, they listening. And the people that don't like your honesty but know it's honest, they low-key listening. So that's why I told y'all 35% of all viewers of this channel on a regular basis, my YouTube analytics, 35% of all viewers are not subscribed. But they listening. 5,000 people watch a video. Think about it. That last video I did had 13,000 people watch it. 35% of them were not subscribed to the channel. 35%. That's over 3,000 to 4,000 people. So trust me, they still listening. Antoine Sanders said, TD, Tua talk all Tua all the time. Tua talk all Tua all the time. I don't know if you're giving me lyrics or what. You're going to have to come again, sir. TD, keep up the good work. Honestly, goes a long way. The haters could go away and nobody will miss them. Yeah, I don't get into that. I just keep on providing content, man. All right, man, let's keep getting back into camp today. So we handled the quarterbacks. We handled the O-line. Let's go to the running room. Let me tell y'all something. These running backs are talented, but they did absolutely nothing today. The run game was bad too, but it was not because of the running backs. Every time they got a ball handed off to them, they were staring directly at a wall. We had like 3 good runs today. One was a reverse by Waddle, end around or jet sweep, something like that. And Waddle got the ball, and Jalen Phillips looking at him like, come on into this tackle. But Waddle said, no, sir, I'm going to go -5 yards and beat you around the corner, in which he did. In the real NFL, that is dangerous. That's a -10-yard play. But that speed beat Jalen Phillips around the corner. Jalen Phillips got back there, was like, yeah, come on over here. Let's get this easy loss for 5. Waddle said, Waddle put everything he had to get around him. Literally. But look what it takes to get any good run. And that was like a 10 yards up the sideline. Another one, exact same situation, Chase Edmonds. A handoff like a jet sweep. He was in motion. Same thing. What's his name? Number 6. The defensive end who balled out today, by the way. Melvin Ingram. Same thing. Melvin Ingram looked at him like, come on over here, let me get my sack. And he did the same thing to Melvin, went -3 yards and beat him around the edge. Our running backs out here going negative yardage just to win the battle and get on the outside. I mean, they got it, though. They actually won. They stretched it, but that's dangerous in real games, y'all. That's dangerous. And one good run off a weak side blitz where we got caught, where the running back cut back for like 8 yards. That was a decent run, but that was because they caught our defense blitzing in the cutback. And maybe one more decent run, but outside of that, every time the running back got the ball, they got stood up at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go. So that's not favorable. It's early in camp, but again, just got to keep our eyes on it. Same thing with the pass protection. I told y'all there was times where they held up and we made plays, but there were other times where, put it like this, we literally tried for like 6 deep shots today. And we got 2. We got 2. And I'm not even counting the one where the 0 was coming and Tua overthrew it by 2 feet. I'm not even counting that one. I'm talking about just the play action. Fake the handoff, back to pass, looking, sack, looking, sack, looking, throw it away, looking. You see what I mean? And when I say the 2 out of 6, remember again, and then here was the frustrating part too. Mostly all of those happened in that second shift where Noah and what's his name? Needham were on the boundary. X was over on the sideline with a knee down. Trill was on the side with a knee down. Most of them happened with the second team. That's the O-line. I'm just looking at them. I don't know what to think about them. They just gonna have to show up, and it ain't like I ain't got no hope, but they just better show up. I'm gonna leave it at that. At the end of the day, our season can be huge or it can be average, just depending on that line. And we're gonna deal with some mean pass rushes, and I don't know, y'all. What else do we have? Tight ends. We had a lot more tight end action today. Gesicki, man, he looked smaller than I thought in person. Just my thoughts. He looked smaller than I thought. Tight ends made some plays today. Hunter Long, I'll never forget what he did. He blew one. They were going down the field trying to hurry up and do like a 2-minute drill. And at the end of the day, we didn't get in the end zone because I think they counted it a tackle on Waddle at the 2-yard line right before the clock expired. Waddle was celebrating like he got in, but the defenders just need to tap him and then the play over. So I think they counted as if he didn't get in. But Hunter Long screwed us up on that drive because we got all the way to the 6-yard line and false start on Hunter Long. So we had to go back to the 11-yard line on 2nd and 11 or whatever. But the tight ends, they made some plays, but they were wide open today. You know, those were a lot of those casual passes. Tua were throwing without any zip, just like making sure they got it underneath in zone coverage. That's the tight ends. We talked about the running backs. And we've talked about the offense. I really wasn't paying attention to the fullback. Everybody was trying to block somebody, but it wouldn't work in today. Okay, so what else we got? So on the defensive side of the ball, they ran a lot of cover one. They ran a lot of exotic blitzes. Man, it was one play that, man, it was a beautiful play by the defense, but Skyler made them pay. So we had trip bunch to the left. Tua had trips bunch to the left, right? So what we did, we had 2 corners over there on 3 guys, but Holland was the 3rd guy. Basically, you know, whatever way guys go, everybody know who they got. But it was obviously a zone look. And what they did something very unique that was pretty daring, and it was risky. And let me basically explain. So you got trips bunched to the left, and you got 3 defenders. Ain't no safety. I mean, Holland is the safety, but you got 3 on 3, so it ain't really no true safety. But what they did, they sent the blitzer from over there, so then it was 3 on 2. But it didn't matter because the blitz got there so fast that it wasn't Tua, it was Skyler. Skyler bounced outside, and this is when he used his legs and made that play. It was a great play by Skyler, but I also like that look by the defense. Just had to bring that up. They played a lot of cover. They put one over the top. Cover. Well, they ran a lot of zero look today too. And that's probably also another reason why. And let me tell you, our offense did nothing against the zero look. Out of 40 plays, they probably showed them a zero look about 8 times today. We absolutely did nothing. There was one time where 3 receivers were wide open deep, and Zyler batted it down at the line of scrimmage. Just like we couldn't do nothing. Tua, nobody could do nothing against that look. So it looks like we have our own problems with what we cause other people to have problems with. Nobody could do anything. Zachary says, so our defense was playing little zone. We played a lot of man today. But you know what? I would actually fairly say that it was a good mix today. It was a good mix today. I like the mix. It never made me feel like we were in zone too much. And then we played a lot of man, and then we played that zero look. Now on the zero look, we backed out many times, and maybe twice we sent it, but we couldn't do nothing against it. Just FYI. So this is why I concern myself with man coverage with pressure coming on this offense, regardless of the speed. Also defensively, the interior D-line, Melvin Ingram was the beast of the day, in my opinion. Jalen Phillips made a lot of solid plays. The entire, like Sammy Guavin, man, he stuffed a run that would have had the NFL medical card on the field if it was real live action. The medical card would have been on the field if it was real action. He went through a hole, and it was running back versus him. And he kind of hit him, but, you know, a light hit him. But the collision was so, like, they're not trying to kill each other. So they didn't try to intentionally hit. So they bumped, but it was so loud. That's how pure of a one-on-one it was. So, man, if that was real action, Sam would have had somebody on a cart. Or he would have been on a cart. I'm just saying the collision would have been massive. But he did his job, and he filled that hole, and he was full speed. He wanted every bit of the fire. He wanted all of the drama. So, but a lot of them guys, Munson, a lot of them made good run stops. That's why the run game, and this was a lot of second team. Even the second team was stopping these guys in the run game. So I'm concerned about the run game. I know it's early, but I don't care. I'm concerned. The only plays we got in the run game was overextending plays with speed outside of what the normal play was designed for, having to bounce it out even further and stuff. So Mike McDaniel out there, he's very active. Anything else on defense that I want to talk about? Nick Needham had a solid day. Waddle caught a nice pass in traffic in that red zone, and when he was in the 2-minute drill to get it to the 6-yard line, and Nick Needham was draped all over him. It couldn't have been any better coverage, but Waddle fought for it and kept it. So he took away the penalty from Hunter Long, but he didn't take it away. He just got the yards back from it and tackled right away. Needham played really good today, in my opinion. It was one play, Tua was staring Waddle down. He wanted him coming across, and you could tell that's what the play was designed for. Needham didn't blink, stride for stride. Tua had to go to his second read, and he just threw it out of bounds. He was like, let me get rid of this. And that was good coverage by Needham. Christian Wilkins, I ain't see much of him today, but he was probably disrupted. I ain't pay attention because he didn't have singular sacks. But you could tell he's one of the guys that's up there disrupting everything, and the reason why it's collapsing. Like Christian Wilkins, like you could tell he's the guy that ain't getting the sack, but he the reason it collapsed in the first place. It's like you could see the integrity of the O-line just get blown up instantly with Zyler and him. Yeah. I know, we ain't no daddy, right? Yeah. Outside of that, because we about to go to dinner. As soon as my dad gets here, I'm gonna end this stream. That's the team as a whole. So, ladies and gentlemen, our quarterback's looking better. He's looking promising. O-line, I ain't see no change. We ain't got Armstead, but he's just one guy. And the issues ain't coming just from the that side. So that's still a concern. The run game is still a concern because this whole offense doesn't work if they don't respect the run. Receivers are just fast and trying to make plays. The corners are fast and trying to make plays. It's iron sharpening iron out there. Outside of that, man, that was camp today. No kicking today. I ain't see none of that. Literally, this was a scrimmage. They used the pads to really put open field work in. They didn't do the red zone stuff. They didn't do any of that. So those concerns are still concerns, but it's still early. We just got to keep our eyes on it. And hopefully it starts to get better, but I'm just doing my job reporting what I'm seeing each day, okay? Thank y'all so much for tuning in to TD Fans Talk. I'm going to stop that right here because the Flores stuff, I'd rather do that on another stream, maybe later tonight or early tomorrow. I don't know yet because we're going to go to dinner as a family. So I just want to say, man, good camp today, but mixed feelings because when your quarterback's on the money, you need the team around him to be on the money. You need both to happen in conjunction. So we'll keep it going, man. We'll keep our eyes out on it and hope that it, translates at the end of the day. We had over 600 people in here. We only got 375 likes. Y'all do me a favor and hit that like button. Thank you to everybody who donated to the channel. I appreciate the love and support as you always show love. But that was my camp update. And again, I couldn't go live yesterday because I was focusing on traveling today. Want to give Tua props for the day before. According to reports, he was very solid then. So I'm going to give Tua 3 days of solid play. So if I was to grade it that first day, I would have to say he earned himself a B+. The second day, I would have to say he's earned himself a B- that second day. That third day, he earned him. No. Let's just go the last 3 days because I went back to the day 2, but instead of 1, let's just go the last 3 days. The last 3 days, so 3 practices ago, I think he earned himself a B. The last practice yesterday, like an A- from what I understand when I talked to somebody. And today I gotta give him a B+. I'll give him a B. And the reason why, that pick was egregious. The deep ball where it was amazing. We caught the defense in a 0 and he made the right check, but he overfired by 2 yards. That would have been a touchdown. Another pass that was misfired. And there was one I didn't tell y'all about that. I did tell y'all where if he would have threw it soon enough, it would have been a 50-yard bomb, but he hesitated and then he checked it down. But I give him a really good solid B, man. And that's all you need from your quarterback to be a B quarterback. And he can win games and get in the playoffs and do some things. So I'm not hearing this like C- or worse Tua this year. And hopefully it maintains that way. We're going to finish the week out. Hopefully he does strong. And my next true test outside of he need to be consistent this week. But my next true test is going to be the Bucs practices next week. And I think they lost Tristan Wirfs today or something like that. They losing people left and right. So I hate that they're not going to be at full strength, but still, it's still a good gauge. They got a good team, and Todd Bowles is a good coordinator. He's a coach now, but that defense going to be on point. But again, I appreciate y'all coming through. That Flores stuff and Ross, I'll talk to y'all later about that because there's details we need to discuss. I keep trying to tell people they don't want to listen to me. Since I got like 2 more minutes, I'm going to tell y'all this. It may not be over. That's just, the NFL can say all they want that they concluded that there was no tanking for games. Yeah, there were no tanking for games because Flores didn't agree to do it. And then they said the report came out and it said that in the initial investigation, that Flores, when he first wrote the team and told them about the behavior, they concluded their investigation. This is the Dolphins' internal investigation. They concluded in their investigation that Ross was just playing. He wasn't serious when he said it. People are missing in the NFL concluded that they really weren't trying to tank games, right? They screwed up big time by admitting that they said they were just playing and they weren't serious. Because when they go to court, this ain't the NFL covering they behind saying, oh, well, they were just playing. They weren't tanking for real. In a court, you just admitted that you said it, whether you were playing or not. You just admitted that you said it. You basically admitted that you literally did offer the money to tank games, because the initial investigation by the Dolphins reported that it was taken out of context. It was just playing as a joke. That's admitting you said it. That's admitting that you offered it, whether you were in a jokey fashion or not. So the NFL can conclude all they want that there was no tanking because of that. They were just playing, but that's just the NFL covering themselves. The court, when Flores and them go to court, you think a jury gonna take the fact that you were just playing, especially when you already denied tampering and you've been proven wrong? And y'all are crazy if you don't think Sean Payton and Tom Brady were investigated and they were asked and they ain't just tell the truth. That's another thing y'all need to realize. You think the NFL ain't called Sean Payton and asked him and his representative and Brady and his representative what happened, and they told the truth? That's exactly what went down, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll never know that, but that's exactly what went down. It was that simple. It's funny how this all worked like clockwork. It's funny how it all worked. Sean Payton and his agent talking to the Dolphins. Then he retired, and the Dolphins called to try to trade for him, and they said, no, we're not giving you access to speak to him, even though you already spoke to him. Even though you already spoke to him. You've been messing with Brady since 2019. Told y'all. They wanted him since 2019. Before Tua was even here. I reported that on my channel, and y'all were like, bro, what are you talking about? No, he not. CTD, you were wrong. Ross said today we weren't looking at Brady. We not looking at Brady because why would he want to come here? Y'all remember that press conference by Ross? Y'all remember they call all them people call me idiots and stuff like that? That I'm lying, saying that Brady, they looking into Brady? Because I heard the direct reports from somebody in the organization, front office. Direct report. And I reported it. And when it never happened, I ain't gonna lie to you. When it happened, I was like, well, sometimes this person right, sometimes they wrong. I guess this is the wrong one. But that was proof. Tell me you don't remember that on this channel 3 years ago when I reported that. Some of y'all been here long enough. I told y'all what was going on backstage. Oh, no, they don't want no Brady. They don't want no Brady. I told y'all they were trying to get this man from back then. They were even, and I'm telling you, what I was told that they were trying to get Watson back then too. As early as the Laramie Tunsil trade. They were trying to find every option they could. Brady, he wasn't there. Oh, we trading for Tunsil? Oh, well, let's see, check on Watson. At the time, Watson and Houston didn't have bad blood, and Houston just turned them down. No, that's our quarterback. In the next year, that's when Watson, because they were backdooring with, and I'm going to tell y'all straight up what I was told. They were backdooring with Watson, and that's why Watson was saying, I want out in that relationship, because that relationship, somebody was playing fences and basically reminding Watson of how dirty the owner was, and he was like, I want out. Watson was supposed to come to Miami when they missed on Brady plenty of times. And the second time they tried to get him, said we gonna hold on to him. So they went after Brady again. After they couldn't secure Joe Burrow. After they couldn't get Joe Burrow, they offered, everybody know they offered the draft picks to move up for Burrow. And they couldn't get him. They done tried left and right to get every quarterback they could. And this is why pre-draft of Tua, I was going so hard on the fact that he's not their guy. When we used to argue on the streams, EM and all of us. This is why, because what I was being told, I kept saying he's not the guy. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. This is why I was so adamant about him not being the guy. And now time always tells, like I told y'all back then, time always tells. And as time goes, now facts are being released. They were trying to get Brady before we ever even drafted to him. And they continue to. And the saddest part about it is our head coach, Mike McDaniel, has to, at first he was listening to the rumors. Now he officially 1,000% knows they ain't even want me here. I wasn't their guy. I wasn't their guy. Now our head coach deep down knows. And hopefully it gives him a chip on the shoulder. But he know he wasn't the guy now. Mike McDaniel wasn't the guy. Sean Payton was. And it turned into, well, dude, we done lost out on all this. Go interview some people. Let's pick somebody. Tua officially knows now he definitely wasn't the guy. He officially knows they win every opportunity they could to replace him. I mean, or not even pick him at first. And hopefully those guys can rise above that and show why they belong in Miami forever. Forever. And we'll see, man. They got to get it done this year, though. I do wonder, though, if they don't. I was saying this to somebody earlier. Tua's expectation this year just fell a little bit. Y'all can argue with me all you want. Listen to me clearly. If Tua needed to be here this year, what happened today, he just needed to be here now. I know deep for us, no, he need to be greater, of course. But I'm sorry. His requirement this year, y'all know how I'm telling y'all he got to be a top 10 quarterback, and some other people saying he got to be top 12, top 14. He officially can end the season number 16, 18. He still might be here next year now. Because it's improvement. And at this point, we got to move on and continue building around him. The only way Tua's gone after this year is if he's ranked 20th or worse. 20th or worse. That's the only way. But this situation bought him some wiggle room because we had a contingency plan. We had the assets and everything. Tua near soon for TD. I want to be a Tua near. Well, I don't want to be a Tua near. Y'all keep on mixing that definition. Tua near, the main definition of a Tua near is somebody that if he got traded tomorrow would no longer be a Dolphin fan. They'll be a fan of whoever he goes to. See, they put Tua above the team. That's why I be arguing with y'all real Dolphin fans trying to tell y'all, stop getting offended by the term Tua near. If he gone tomorrow and you rocking with the Dolphins and not him, you ain't no Tua near. It's just people get under your skin because they call you a Tua near when you being a real fan. Just because you supporting him. You have a right to support him. Ignore those people. Ignore those people. When I refer to Tua nears, I am only talking about the people who would no longer be Dolphin fans if he got traded tomorrow. Those are Tua nears. That ain't most of y'all. So stop getting offended by that term. And if somebody calls you that out of place, they just being nasty to you. Ignore them. Ignore them. So at the end of the day, man, I want to be a huge advocate for Tua, like literally, truly believing in his game. I like his game. It's a lot to be desired. I'm not drooling over it yet. Soon as I start seeing it put together in the regular season and he can do it consistently, it's going to be real easy to get behind this kid. But I'm going to be able to appreciate the growth because I talked about the struggles. It's funny how these people who Act like there was never any struggles, and then when he ball out, want to say, I told you so. What do you mean you told us so? You don't have to say I told you so if you believe that before. So obviously you recognize there were struggles too. I mean, they sound ridiculous. When Tua ball out, you're going to have to give him an apology. For what? What he did the first 2 years is what he did. He need to give me an apology for playing the way he did the first 2 years, in which I don't need one from him, nor does he really need to give me one. I'm just saying in general. So, again, be one of those people who go with what's actually happening. If he ain't looking good, he ain't looking good. If all of a sudden a light switch and he better than Brady, you recognize that and you rock with it. That don't mean that you were wrong. It mean that you can consistently making sure you on the right side. This notion of, oh, y'all gonna get proven wrong. About what? All we did is reported what he did the last 2 seasons, and it was poor. We weren't wrong about that. Now, as far as his long-term projection, people will have to apologize. If he becomes the guy, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. So, we'll see. Tua needs to play well during joint practices. Yeah, I agree. I ain't worried about the Eagles joint practices. I don't even know if they're going to get tons of reps. TD, your reporting actually has me hopeful. However, until the team is sold, Stephen Ross is no longer the owner. They won't get a dime from me. Facts. Still rooting for him. I get it, man. I get it, man. Anyway, man, my dad will be pulling up any minute now, so let me go eat dinner with the fam, relax a little, and if I got the energy, I'll crank up the live again tonight to talk about this whole Flores thing and Stephen Ross and all of that mess anymore. I really don't even want to talk about it, y'all, because at the end of the day, it ain't nothing to talk about. Yes? All right, I'm coming. They lost the picks. They lost the picks. It is what it is. Tell them I'm finna move my car. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. See y'all later, man. Peace.